Hi everyone, McBeard here, back with another deck guide for you. Now I think that I've had my fun with Crimson Curse. I've tried out a lot of stuff. I've gotten to see a lot of decks. I've gotten to see kind of what's working and what isn't. And I've been chatting with people in various discords as well. And I think it's time for me to actually start making a little bit of a push here. I wanted to showcase this deck because this is still not what you might be looking for in a competitive deck right now. But I want you to keep in mind that Detlaff is on the way to Nerf Town. And I think if you wanted to play Deathblow control, Eithne might actually be your next best bet. So this is a Deathblow Harmony-based Eithne list that aims to thin out and keep pace with the opponent with huge plays like Gimpy, engines like Milva, and be able to thin out with Mahakam Volunteers, as well as the Broccolon Sentinels, while also setting up massive carryover through Sheldon Skaggs or Aglace. Sheldon Skaggs specifically for the Agitators, although the Agitators can hit Gabor, which can be swapped for Gregor. That's the thing that you probably are wondering, why isn't he running Gregor in Eithne? So this could be Gregor, but I personally just wanted one more dwarf handy just in case I had a really bad draw. It's good to have a dwarf in your hand still for when you start playing Agitators or when you need to proc the Mahakam Volunteers. Now I do think Gregoire de Gorgon is a fantastic card right now. It's seeing a lot of play in Nilfgaard, but you can make a lot of use in any deck that's preying on the weak. And in Eithne, I think it's a natural fit because it's very easy to make sure that you're proccing Deathblow effects in general. And Gregoire is pretty good. 10-point unit with a shield, really hard to dig into. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool alternative in the 9 slot since the Unicorn and Karnax did get changed. The 9 slot has felt a little bit more free, much like the slots that Witchers previously occupied. And the thinning and the tutoring that we have lost with the nerfing of Roach and the Witchers. So there is thinning in this as well. Fauve does pull out Waters of Broccolon, or it can pull Call of the Forest. And I felt like I needed to include Dryads Caress at the bottom here as well, as opposed to running 2 Dragoons or perhaps actually the Dryad Grovekeeper was in this spot for a while. But the fear of bricking Fauve is just a little bit too high, and the Grovekeeper was getting me 6 in a good case, so I figured, well, I already have a good case 6 in the first place. Maybe I'll just run the Dryads Crest, so at least Fauve isn't pulling, because if I don't have a good call target in some awkward round 3s, I'm fine just playing Dryads Crest for potentially 8 in a bad situation, should it all work out. And it's possible that I have Waters of Broccolon already in my hand, so being able to play Fauve into a Vitality trigger and then having the Waters of Broccolon trigger because I have the Dryad on the board is also great. Call of the Forest is pretty good because you can get Eithne out from the Dryad Dragoon or from the Dolblethana Archer, but you actually can get a Glace out from Call of the Forest as well, which was previously not really possible because you didn't have Dryads to target. So it's going to be pretty rare when you do this, but if you use Call of the Forest in this way, Aglace will come down and drop as an 8-point body. Pretty rare. You'd have to have such a strangely awkward hand to have to do that, but you can do it. That's important. And then there's Eithne, super important. Eithne and Aglace make for a killer last say, depending if you hit Thrissa's Deathblow to get a little bit of extra juice on Aglace before you drop her. I think that there's lots of great opportunities to push for a last say situation, or even a situation where your opponent doesn't really answer or expect you to drop a giant Dryad. Although, depending on when you play Sheldon and when you play Eithne, you can maybe make your opponent start guessing. But I think this deck is actually really great. I think it keeps your opponent guessing, very much on purpose. And there are a lot of different ways to play this. So in this gameplay, this is the list that I like the most right now. But in this gameplay, you're going to see two lists. The first list actually was running Tainted Ale as well, and I believe Gregoire was in there as well. And I was going for a more control-heavy situation, but I think I was bricking Fauve too often, or I just had some unlucky games, and I decided to switch it up a little bit more. And I believe in the second gameplay, you won't see Dryads Caress, and you will see a Grovekeeper appear, but I think that's the only real change. I think the Dolblethana Archer is another change, just to make Call of the Forest a little bit better for Eithne. Even though the deck thins really well, you can't count on that. You need to have consistency, and I think this deck has it. On top of the fact that Eithne is quite strong. 19 provision point leader makes a nice high value deck. You see that we have room for a lot of stuff. We have 5 9s, 5 8s, 5 9s, and anything 9 plus is really usually very, very good because of how strong the 9 slot is. You're seeing a lot of decks top out at 11, 10 provisions, so they can fit more good, solid, average, mid-range 9, 8-point cards. And this deck has a lot of them. And big ones too. You can fit in Gimpy, where in another deck you just wouldn't have room. This could be a game changer in whatever round you have a chance. And so Gimpy is likely going to get value, depending on how your opponent is thinning. 9 for 8, you could do worse, especially if you're killing an engine at the same time. So I did jump all over the place explaining this deck. The only thing I didn't really explain is Regis, but I don't think Regis needs much explanation. He is a fantastic card in Gwent right now. This slot could easily be Mullane if you wanted to have another elf as well. Maybe another Harmony trigger in a more diverse set of games. But I find that the banishment... you can see I'm running a Northern Wind as well, just to be sure that I can solve the problem of Detlaff Higher Vampire, just because you completely kill that combo. You can ping with Eithne. If you're up against monsters, first of all, you need to basically be planning around this. But you can ping with Eithne, and you can get Detlaff down to a point where you can banish it. Tech-wise, that's why Regis and Northern Wind are in here. You could run other Doblathana Archer. I mean, if you needed to get more elves, more removal pieces, more ways to get units into range of Deathblow, you might want to do something like that. And again, this could easily be Mullane. Great card, very versatile as well. You could argue the versatility makes up for the differences, as well as it being a scoia'tael unit, which Milva cares about. Mullane in most cases are better, but if you want to kill Detlaff Higher Vampire, you're going to want to run the Northern Wind Regis Bloodlust package. Check out these two gameplays. Some different styles, but ultimately the same thought process. We want to boost Aglace. We want to get last say. We want to make the best use out of our death blows. And there are a lot of different ways you can play this. You got room for Ida. You have room for other locks as well. You don't need Moran. Maybe you run Kieran. It's really tons of different ways you can play this deck. I think that scoia'tael, honestly, with Harmony, has made deck lists. There's no sure things at the moment. I think that we're not quite there. If you want to play Harmony and you want to have some pretty fun games, especially with the interesting thinning that you can do with Fov, Call of the Forest, etc., I think that Eithne is the one. You have the provision cap, you got the great Deathblow thinning, and you've got some really cool cards like Gregoire. You have some really cool cards like Regis Bloodlust to banish, and of course Tree and Boar. I didn't even talk about it. Harmony trigger. scoia'tael Botchling, everybody. All right, everybody, that's it for me. Again, this is on YouTube, so first of all, thanks for watching. And if you enjoy the content, show and tell. Take care.
I respect
nothing human. I'm really happy that the sound is in sync. I wish I knew why it was not in sync sometimes. We actually have dwarves we can work with here. Call of the Forest Skags is kind of cute. Double Matron, I don't know if I want that. But it wouldn't be that bad to get things started. Again, we can play whatever we want as long as we can get a Glace. We're up against Kalance, so we want removal. Which we kind of have. We're okay, I think. We'll lead off with Dwarven Agi.
Wake up, dwarves! Humans lust after.
Who's having a beer with you? Nephilim, I have like no alcohol in my whole house right now. I have like nothing. There is nothing in my house right now that can make me, that can de-soberize me. In this moment today on Monday, April 1st. And that's not an April Fool's joke. Usually sober for streams. Gwent's kind of hard when you're not. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's ever done or watched a drunk stream of Gwent. Not me, but like somebody else. It just kind of just becomes like, well, I'm drunk, so that's why I'm not playing very well. And I'm losing because I'm not playing well. Thing is, I lose by not playing well anyway. Maybe it's more funny that way. Row restriction is harsh. Oh, look at this guy.
Hi ho, hi ho.
Interesting. Interesting choice. Well, I mean, I think this is just worth it then.
Right.
Seems like I just got a lot of value on that play. Just a lot of value there. cool. I actually really like the deck that I'm playing right now. I really like this deck. It could be pretty good. I'm gonna get rid of the bleed here. Oh, am I though? I like the dude's style. I like this bleed control.
Hey, watch your step.
Bam, bam. 99% Detlaff. Yeah, there's a lot of Detlaff out there, huh? Just playing his bad cards. Okay, okay. Didn't give me last. Gonna give me last say, potentially with that glaze. So we have call, so we're gonna get Eithne. We know that much. Do we know that much? We have no elves. This becomes a card that we don't want. We'll take Sarissa. No elves for Brand's not great because I'm not gonna have 2 or more or am I? I probably will I? I won't, will I? 1, 2, 3. That's a lot of good cards in my. It's a lot of good cards I don't have. I think I just take the mulligans here. I know he's going to try to get me with a Calanth combo, but I just want to see if the Aglaze combo is better. He doesn't have a good graveyard for Pavetta shenanigans. It could be Cyana based. He's going to go ahead and play those cards, huh? You don't want to even have spots to mulligan into something better. He must like his hand. He must like his hand a lot. Fav. So Fav gets us waters. There's Ale. We have 1 more mulligan and we're going to take it, I guess. We need Eithne, like, pretty bad. Well, now we have to mulligan away one of these cards for Fav. So it's going to be waters. We do not have an elf. I just play Ale here, I guess. Yeah, Glaze is just not good. Glaze is not going to be all that strong. We do have Thunderbolt at least. Surprise! I got artifacts too.
Elves must die!
What are you up to, Genetic Eye? What are you up to, Calanth? What is this? What am I looking at here? Regis. Yo, Waters sucks, right? Nah, it's not that bad. I can Waters Fav or a Fledgling for Bran. I guess that's pretty good. Or I can call Fav for like the Fledglings don't proc anyway, so they're not like it's actually just giving me the opportunity to play Bran. Let the dough live. Salmon. Look at that. So yeah, I'm not proccing this. So if I play Waters onto Fob, and I get Bran. She counts herself, right? It says other Dryads though, so no. I need to play Morin first.
No species more horrid.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's fine. I'm glad that that was the thing that was killed. I'm not gonna give him anything right now. He's just not doing anything. or Moran. I'm worried about giving up a lock, but the removal is good. I do have 2 charges of Eithne. I mean, and the points might just be enough, and I do have this as well, right? So I guess I'll just play.
Mother will be proud.
Good old Greg. Greg G. My buddy Greg, you know?
I shall never forgive you, Anarietta. Never.
Here it goes. Here's the combo, everybody. Vernon is going to be the 4-card pull.
Mary, that's what matters.
Royal Guard, Samum, which actually won't. Oh, it will. Yeah. Another Royal Guard, and a Scout. That's not good, is it? It's not really good enough, right? Wait a minute. Did he miss a card? Oh, Samum was the 4th card. Yeah, this seems fine. We got to see what this last play is, though, don't we? Very scatty. Marching orders. Kidwinny Knight, not a small play. But Petrie's isn't better here, and we definitely have him beat. Pretty cool, though. Just let me get there. That's all you need to see. Oh, man. Poor Northern Realms. Easy answers, y'all. I probably would have won if I didn't fuck that up. Well, I mean, it's not Pumpkin's fault. It's everybody else's fault. It's everybody else's fault. You're saying Detlaff is like 70% of the ladder? You all deserve it. You all deserve it. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that player at all. Good for that player. Good for that player. That's why Usurper should be in the game. If a leader is that good, Usurper should be meta, right? And that's a really good anti-Detlaff deck. There's no death blows happening, right? No death blows happening. Everyone's at fault.
Patience is not a virtue I am known to have.
Emir. I predict fun, right? Dwarf would be nice. I mean, that deck was on a mission. I could have actually still won that game, even though it was an anti-Deathblow deck. I could have, though. I think I could have won that game. My other pull would have been the Grovekeeper. Would it have really gotten me that many more points? The Grovekeeper would have been 1 point plus however many Dryads were on the board, assuming that... And he wouldn't have been able to... I mean, he had Peter, so... he would have to only use Peter on one thing. I could have won, maybe. Maybe I could have won. I think leading off with Milva's fine here. Nope, I don't think it is after all. Maybe I just lock it with Moran. It feels like a waste. Or do I just lead off with the Grovekeeper? That feels like a real waste with Waters in my hand. And this many Dryads. Alternatively, I could have just pinged it, and then I could trigger my Deathblow, but...
No door is closed to me.
Dreams feel pain just as we do.
Now, I have Eithne at my disposal now, though, so it shouldn't be that hard. Be able to kill any engine now and then, like, it'll be a totally different game, I think. Which means I'm going to lose for a totally different reason, probably. Not a fan of using it for that, but really have a way around it. Really? Oh, let's play the Grovekeeper then.
Not to worry. The wood will make good use of your corpse.
Your corpse? Damn, we have we could really set up. We could have a really nasty beginning here for him. We can maybe push dwarves, you say? So many engines.
Wake up, dwarves! Humans lust
Let's
after
see,
a
let's see.
living
Is
foe.
Grovekeeper any good? In a deck that has mostly Dryads, I mean, you're probably going to get it. It's probably going to be above average for a 4, usually. I only run 1. I think I only run 1. No, I run 2, actually.
You will not regret this, sir.
Okay, this is good for me.
Your humble
May not be good for me, but I'll fin.
We'll put Mahakam boots to Imperial arses.
I have last say, so Iglesia is going to be okay, I guess. I have lots of engines, I guess. This is going to be okay,
You
too.
scratch my back.
It's playing
and I'll
spies,
scratch
huh?
you.
It's a bad play, but do I go down a card here? I don't think I do. I think with this many charges and this many engines and this much removal, I think I keep like this entire hand. Although I might drop this. Well, the risk is that I mulligan into the other Brocklon Sentinel, so don't I mulligan this away? I do want more Harmony triggers, but I also want more Dryads. This puts extra Dryad on the board. I need my hand buffs. I need an elf, perhaps? There we go. Now we are talking, although Sheldon's going to get one of the hand buffs.
Magic dies. This world dies with it. Now is the time of the sword and axe.
You only saw cards in hand, not rounds? Well, now it's round 3.
A shame I have no time.
And this is another anti-Detlaff deck, which is going to be bad for us. I could have Northern Winded the Roach, couldn't I have? I think that would have been a fine consideration. Well, we can just develop our engines at this point. This actually fights against Gregoire. Makes it so he can't find a target for the 1. This is the Detlaff meta. This is what it's producing. I was thinking about playing Detlaff today. I was going to see if somebody wanted to do a co-op with it. And, boy, I think we would have been brick-walled pretty hard. This isn't much better, though. This is still very anti-Deathblow. What now? What now?
Out of the way, Baba!
Roddy. Roddy Piper. Letho shit. Goodbye, matron. Nice knowing you.
Careful, the moss. Don't trample it.
Can I call the forest the emissary into...
This could hurt.
No. There is just nothing. I think I want to call the forest Sheldon into Gabor. It's not worth it, is it? It's going to be really hard to find a Deathblow here. But I'm thinking about how am I going to order my plays here. I could play Northern Wind on Seret, so I have a 1 for Gregor. But I also could just play Sheldon now, so I have a Sarissa target, because all the points are going to go on to Aglace anyway, right? This is the only way I'm going to get it. This is the only way I'm going to get there, I think.
Aye, aye, soon as I finish my pipe.
This is the only way I'm actually going to get a Deathblow in reach. I don't really care too much about that. If only I had... Oh, shit. It's not a beast, yo. It's not a beast. Urgh. If only it was a beast. Wait, can I just throw the cow back at him? Great. Great play, McBeard. I just don't really think I have a good call of the forest target. Great play, McBeard. A different unit, that's why it didn't work. Never tried it before. Poison Nilfgaard Emir. Because you can pick up and drop the Fangs of the Empire. That would be good, wouldn't it?
Please wait, Your Excellency. I'm falling behind.
He's killing all my Dryads, right? I mean, they're all dangerous, I guess. This will protect this, I guess. It still gets killed by Devil's Puffball, doesn't it? I still play this.
Rejoin the cycle, the circle of life.
Emir Poison, actually. I want to try that. You should build also a tempo deck. 2 times counter to Detlaff.
One word.
Points 9 tempo decks need with no engines beat him. Well, that means Eithne with Scorch would beat those decks, actually. I'm not running Scorch in this deck. I could be. Fuck, Trist. He has room for Trist Telekinesis for the Devil's Puffball. Fuck, he's just gonna spam. He's gonna spam Fangs of the Empire on me. At least this is probably not the value that... Wait. He has 2 Fangs of the Empire? Wait, what? I mean, this is fine. I'm just going to do this. I guess there is no rush to do that. No need to continue playing into the mistake. Oh, sweet. He didn't get that. Wow, that was an important play right there, wasn't it? So this is Gregoire, right? We have to assume that this is Gregoire. So if I actually play Eithne into this, I am preventing I get 5 points back. I mean, that's what that looks like to me. In either case, I win by enough with this card, right? I should be fine. So I should just take the chance. I should just counter this. I think it might be Greg. I might just be thinking that because I just played it, but it might be Greg right here. Oh, he emoted me. Oh! Called it! And we're going to take it with Aglaze. Could have been Fangs of the Empire just as easily.
Nice.
Boom! So it's so cool how that Dryad actually prevented Milton, which then ultimately prevented Gregoire. So good. He was killing my Dryads too. It's like he knew I needed them on the board. Damn, that was a good game.